extra time.
Kane, 3-0 in the series, and I guess not that you've played a major part in it, it still must be significant to come away with a victory tonight, even though the series had been decided.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk so much about what we want to bring to every performance, and although we were 2-0 going into this, there were certainly those expectations to come into this game and try and implement those things, and also learn from those past performances that we had against India, who are obviously a quality side, one of the best sides in the world. So it was an outstanding effort, a really clinical effort from the guys. I think the way we fought back with the ball was outstanding, and then the partnerships throughout that chase were brilliant as well.
You must have come into this series disappointed with 5-0 loss in the T20. You had to turn things around. What has been the key to turning it around?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously disappointing when you lose. You always want to win, but there are a heap of good things throughout that T20 series, and I think we all saw the fine margins that were out there in terms of the results, and sometimes they don't quite go your way, but in terms of the progression, I think it was there, and I do think this ODI series was sort of building on that T20 series. Obviously a few change in personnel and some experienced heads, which is always a good thing, but obviously a few guys still out as well, so a lot of positives throughout that whole sort of white ball series that we had.
You hadn't played a one-day international since the World Cup, basically, and you're up against India, a side you beat at the World Cup and put them out in the semi-finals. Is this the start of a new development in the ODI team preparing for another World Cup, or is it testing out the backup resources because you had a lot of players who were injured and weren't able to take part?
Yeah, I mean, I think you sort of organically do both of those things, trying to play your best cricket day in, day out and get a better understanding how you want to operate as a group is, I think, always the best way to perhaps prepare for something that's down the track, but that's not in our minds. Obviously it's such a long way away, and then you have injuries, and naturally you bring guys in, and there's some brilliant opportunities for guys throughout the series that grew throughout their campaign and played some major roles as well. So obviously injuries are not ideal, but there are silver linings, and that's that guys come in and get opportunities to develop their game against one of the best teams in the world.
Have you been able to make contact recently with Gary Stead? Have you spoken to him about the team's performance?
Yeah, we both have each other's numbers, and we talk to each other.
Can I get it?
He was obviously thrilled with the performance, and like I say, the progression of the team, and that's always the focus, is for the side to keep developing and improving, and that's the message that we've been obviously speaking about for a long period of time. And like you say, when you have some tough days and results that don't quite go your way, it's trying to stick with that and know that if you are able to do that, build on performances, have those small improvements, then you can help turn those results around. And there were some fine margins in that T20 series, as there were in this series. So it's always about learning and trying to get better from these performances. So it was a great series, nice to get the win, but there's always work to do, and the guys are looking forward to the next one and trying to build on these performances.
Can you read anything into the upcoming Test series out of this ODI success?
Look, it's difficult. Obviously, a different side, different format, but throughout a series, you're always, I suppose, trying to touch on areas as a group, and it's a different format, but there are some parts that I guess guys will get confidence from going into that series. So the focus does change, and I know the guys are looking forward to that series.
Kane, about that Test series, how positive signs? Are you seeing positive signs like Trent bowling without the bandage on, Neil Wagner coming in, Lockie Ferguson seems to be getting better? Do you look at it like the sickness and the injuries have been dealt with in this white ball team, and you can just focus on that?
Yeah, it's part and parcel of the game is that you get guys that get injuries and illnesses. Obviously, we've had a lot of that in recent times to deal with, but there's not been any excuses. Guys have come in to try and play the roles that they're given to the best of their ability and learnt a heap along the way. But expecting all of those guys to be fit for the first Test, and they've been tracking nicely. So yeah, it's an exciting opportunity against, like I say, one of the best teams in the world.
And just on the Gary Stead thing, how did you see that? You said a lot of negative comments about him taking a break and all that, just as captain? How did you see that?
Yeah, it was pre-planned, so it wasn't a surprise to us. I guess there were others that had breaks throughout that series as well, and obviously he's looking forward to joining back up for the Test series.
Kane, the fact, Bumrah is obviously the spearhead of the Indian attack. Should anyone read anything into the fact that for 30 overs you kept him wicketless?
Oh no, I mean the formats are so different. We know that Bumrah's a world-class bowler in all of the formats, so he's a threat when he has a ball in his hand, and I don't think there's too much to look into it. He obviously is back into his cricket after a period of time off as well, but from what I saw, is bowling really nicely.
Ken, what according to has been the standout performance for the Black Caps winning a series against India?
I can't say one thing, but I think throughout the series, the most pleasing thing would be the cricket smarts and the composure that the guys had. Each game we were put under pressure, as you would expect against such a formidable side like India. But the way the guys dealt with that, a couple of big chases, which is really nice to see the partnerships that were built throughout. But as we know, on some of these surfaces with some short boundaries, the job of the bowlers is so important, and they also operated really nicely in partnerships, and were able to hold their nerve in key moments. And today was a great example where once again we were put under pressure. India were batting really nicely, but we were able to have a really good death phase, which helped us keep India to perhaps about a par total. So a lot of positives in all different areas, but once again it's an opportunity to build on these games, on this series, and keep moving forward as an ODI side.
Got one, Kyle Jamieson, debut series. What did you make of him?
Yeah, an outstanding start from Kyle. Obviously, he's been in the side or in and around the squad for a little period of time, and to get the opportunity to get the new ball today and bowl really nicely in his first ODI, it was a really exciting prospect. Yeah, he bowled really well in his first one and got the new ball in the second one, but coming in with that height does bring a point of difference. So a great attacking weapon, and once again an opportunity for guys that come into the side off the back of some injuries that help create some depth. And we had a lot of injuries in that fast bowling department, in an area that we considered that we did have some depth, until we had about four or so of those guys go down, and then some guys come in and take some opportunities, which is really exciting for the side altogether.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.